What's up out there, everybody? I'm your host, Alan. Thanks for stopping by D9J Sports, tuning into the show today. We've got a good show lined up for you. We want to talk about the state of modern day sports. And I'm going to tell you how things are not like we thought they would be. Sit back, relax. Let's get right into it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, last night as I sit up and watch the Los Angeles Lakers and the Oklahoma City Thunder play, the Los Angeles Lakers got hammered on by the Oklahoma City Thunder. But as I watched the game nearing the end, I realized that the state of modern day sports is definitely not what we thought it would be. Oh, how it has changed. It has definitely changed. So let's start right there, ladies and gentlemen, with the National Basketball Association. Well, last night during that game, nobody played defense. Well, nobody for the Lakers played defense. They gave up 44 points in the first half, ladies. No, the first quarter, ladies and gentlemen, of the basketball game. They didn't play defense at all, but yet they want you to think the modern day players in the National Basketball Association, they want you to think and they want you to believe that the modern day players are better or greater players and greater athletes than the guys who played in the 90s, the 80s, and all of those guys right there. But one thing for sure you can rest assured on, the players of the old days, they played defense. Now pump your brakes, pump your brakes. If you're a young person out there, I want you to really hear me out. And if you're an old person, you're probably going to know exactly where I'm coming from. If you're going to be a complete player and you don't play defense, then you're not as good as a player who played defense, say from the 90s or the 80s when they played defense. If you're going down court and the court is spread out and all you're doing is shooting 3-pointers, wouldn't you agree with me? That's all you're doing is shooting 3-pointers, uncontested shots. Does that make you greater than a player who played in the older days, who had to play defense? Remember the hand check? Who had to go through all the physicality and all of those things right there? No, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't. So the state of the National Basketball Association, everything from load management, players not playing, players not giving a damn about whether you spend your hard-earned money to go watch them play. But yet they want to sit on podcasts. Former players want to sit on podcasts and talk about the new players, the modern day players, and tell you how much better they were than the old players. Doesn't make any sense. Let's keep this thing rolling, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about football. We're going to start with college football. We know that things have changed in college football. The players are getting played right now. I don't disagree with them getting paid. I think there should be some type of a cap on it. But ladies and gentlemen, nothing right now has ever happened like it's happening right now in college. Over 10,000 football players from Division 1, 2, 3, Division 2 are in the portal, ladies and gentlemen. They're in the transfer portal as soon as it opens up. That's a lot of kids. That's a lot of players out there. And you know what that means? They're chasing that bag. Can't be bad at them for chasing the bag. But ladies and gentlemen, things the way we used to see them, they're not like that. They're not like that at all. Players right now, you can't say anything to a player. And if that player comes to your school and that player does not get the start, that player is not going to stick around. He's not going to compete. That is out the window. Open competitiveness that we used to see if you're a former player where you had to go in, possibly redshirt, and then you had to battle your way up the roster, and then you took pride in doing that. But no, ladies and gentlemen, if you go to a school now and you don't like something that the coach says, if you don't, whatever it may be, you can hit the transfer portal. Oh, how things have changed. And that's part of it. You see players constantly getting hurt right now. Let's move on to the National Football League. You see players constantly getting hurt right now, and you'd be crazy if you didn't sit up and know or think for yourself and realize that the reason why most of these non-contact injuries are happening, hell, they're not practicing. Not like you used to. You remember how you had the 2-a-days, in some cases 3-a-days, where things were so different. But now players will get injured without even getting touched. Now that does happen. It did happen back in the day on occasion, but now every time you turn around, a player is injured. Modern day quarterbacks. They want you to believe and they want you to think that modern day quarterbacks are greater quarterbacks than the quarterbacks from old days or the 80s or the 90s or the early 2000s because they pass for, I don't know, 500 yards a game, but yet they passing the football 50 times a game. The wide receivers go downfield. They don't get touched at all. They want you to believe that the wide receivers are the greatest football players to ever play that position. The quarterback drops back in the pocket and he can stand there. And if he gets hit too hard, then it's a penalty. Ladies and gentlemen, things are not what we thought, not what we're accustomed to. So the state of modern day sports, and that's just to name a few. It's just to name a few. There are so many things. They try to speed baseball up. But ladies and gentlemen, it's not the same. It's not the same. In this era of gambling and everything, you don't know whether or not the games are fixed or whatnot. You don't know what's real and what isn't real, especially in modern day sports. If a player goes out, the first thing in your mind now is, did this player gamble on the game? Is this player fixing the game? When you see boxing and you see a boxing match and you sit there and you know for sure 100% that boxer A won the fight, but when it's all over, they will give it to boxer B by unanimous decision. Is everything rigged? Is this the state of modern day sports? What's to come in the coming days? Will there no longer be referees in baseball, the umpire? Will the human element be taken out? Will it be taken out? What else is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen? Will you be able to play college football until you're 30 years old? You saw where the team that won the national championship, the Indiana Hoosiers, had players 25, 24, 25 years. 13 or 14 of their starters should have already been out of college and been playing in the National Football League. But they were playing college. You have kids that are going back suing to get another year to play college football. Oh, how things have changed. They've changed so much into modern day sports. It isn't as true and as pure as we would all like it to be. It isn't, ladies and gentlemen. So in this era, how can we rate the players? You know we do it. It's water cooler talk. It's what keeps sports going. The conversations, the arguments about who's the greatest, who's not the greatest. I don't know, how can you judge it, ladies and gentlemen? Will you be able, moving forward, to sit up and watch any sporting event without that shadow of doubt, whether it's fixed, whether it's a gambling scheme? Will you pay your hard-earned money to go to watch a basketball game, take your kids, and then the players don't play? Will it ever change? Will it ever change? I'm here to tell you, it will never go back to what we thought it would used to be, or damn sure won't go back to what we would hope it would be. Legends like Nick Saban left out of the game because of the transfer portal. Oh, and I know what you're going to say. Well, Nick was getting his money. Well, he surely was. But the one thing about it, you would see players who would compete and have to stay. Haven't you heard the GOAT, Tom Brady, talk about his challenges that he had to go through in Michigan? Being a team captain and not being a starter, but it helped shape and develop him into the player that we all know he became. Players like the GOAT, Michael Jordan, getting cut in the 9th grade, and it forced him to go back and work. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, will we ever see that anymore? I very seriously doubt it, ladies and gentlemen. I very seriously doubt it. And it doesn't start when they get into the National Football League or the NBA or college football. It starts on the Pee Wee youth level, to where you see parents who will fight at the games. They will stack a team so their kid can win. And if their kid doesn't win, it will turn into an all-out brawl. Modern day sports, definitely out of control. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hope that someday we will be able to sit up and watch modern day sports and not have these clouds over our head. I'm definitely OUT.